Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call this special meeting of the NMU Board of Trustees to order. And at this time, I would call on Secretary Andrew to please take the roll.
Trustee Young,
Present.
Trustee Hart,
Here.
Trustee Fatante,
Here.
Trustee Sepinen,
Here.
Trustee Holmquist,
Here.
Trustee LaPointe Dunham,
Here.
Trustee Lindberg,
Here.
Trustee Toutant. We have a quorum present with 7 trustees present.
Thank you, Secretary Andrew. The special meeting has been called for the purposes of taking up one agenda item, and that is one-time payments. And at this time, I'd like to call on President Brock Tessman to provide us some background on this agenda item. Brock?
Sure. Thank you, Chair Young, and good day to members of the board. I think it is a great day to be a Wildcat. The board is here to discuss a proposal for a series of one-time payments to over 700 NMU employees. And I think that we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the good work and good communication among a number of different folks. And in particular, I would like to thank some of our union leadership on this campus. And a good group has been getting together quite regularly to discuss just the state of work life at Northern. And I think it's resulted in a really open lines of communication and ultimately an opportunity to work together more collaboratively. So Tyler Thompson, Don Sibilski and Steve Terrace, Dave Wiegand and Andy Hill, Randy Klitsky, Tim Forsland, and Rick Mengen, among others, of course. But those are the union leaders that I think deserve special credit for today's conversation. I'd also certainly like to thank the Board of Trustees. I mean, I have not been here for very long, but in the time I have been here, I feel like this board, in particular, Chair Young, Vice Chair Hart, but others, has been incredibly active and earnest in its communications with our employees across campus, with our community members for that matter. And I think that that's the right way to approach the campus in community. I feel grateful that we have a board that believes the same thing. So I want to thank our Board of Trustees. And then Gavin, you're on the call. You and your team, Rhea Deaver, others at NMU on the management and administrative team that I think have brought us to today. And like I said, we're here to discuss one-time payments. It's hard to ignore the fact that Northern is in a really strong place right now. And we just came off a great set of celebrations around our homecoming, our 125th anniversary. We, of course, have noteworthy achievements in the classroom with our students, our faculty, research and creative scholarship, great instances of community and regional service. It is really a terrific time for Northern, and none of that would be possible without our employees. And in fact, we recognize that explicitly in our new vision statement. Like the lake that inspires us, Northern Michigan University will be superior in the way we support our people, partner with our place, and realize the potential of all our students. And it starts with supporting our people. We believe very strongly in that. We have good momentum in that area, Chair Young. You'll know, of course, last spring, we signed a memorandum of understanding with our AAUP union that I think was the result of very good conversation. It was well received by our AAUP membership, and I think represented a real step forward in the way we communicate and work with each other. We've also recently launched a new contract with a new union, the POAM union on this campus, that I think resulted in some pay increases for those individuals. Another example of good momentum. In the meantime, however, we've also heard from other employees on this campus who play crucial roles in supporting the success of our students in the campus as a whole. And a lot of that outreach, a lot of that communication expressed, I think, very significant challenges that those employees face in a few different realms, but in particular, financial challenges. Normally, and I would say almost exclusively, we would engage those types of challenges through our contract process. And it happens to be the case that contracts for other unions on this campus, ASCME union and the TOP union, NMUFA, union, the AP union, come up in 2025, 2026, 2027. And like I said, normally I think we would work within the temporal boundaries of those contracts. But the communication is so pressing, so earnest, I think so pointed from our union partners. The conversations were so solid that in front of you, you have, as a board of trustees, a proposal for one-time payments that would be implemented this fall. And I'll note that the specific timing of the payments is still being finalized, but they would be one-time payments and represent a significant investment in the people who make our success as a university possible. The total amount that you'll be considering as a board is $2.4 million, and it would be broken up as follows. $3,500 to our TOP members, $3,000 to our Ask Me members, our AP members, our NMUFA members, and to non-represented employees who make under $100,000. And on top of that, we would issue a one-time $300 payment to our graduate assistants, given their unique role on this campus. The last point I'll make, Chair Young, is that these one-time payments reflect a significant increase, ranging from more than 10% of average annual pay for our TOP union to over 5% for our AP union. They're also the one-time payments on top of the contractual increases that are already in place for these union members. So I could talk a little bit more about what this means, but I hope it's a very significant reflection of our commitment to support our people at NMU, and it's expression of the path we see forward: increased collaboration, growing trust, and more success for our students and our university. Thank you.
Thank you, President Tessman. Well put. And at this time, I'd like to call on Vice Chair Alexis Hart.
Thank you,
for
Chair
purposes
Young.
Of a motion. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to move that the Board of Trustees approve the following one-time payments to the following employee groups: $3,500 to our TOPS members, $3,000 to our AP, AFS, AFSME, NMUFA members, $3,000 to our non-represented employees earning less than $100,000 per year, and also $300 to our graduate assistants.
And I'll second that.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hart and Trustee Sepinen. We have a motion and a second. And at this point, I would open the floor for discussion on the motion. Trustee Hart, do you want to start?
Sure. First of all, thank you very much for bringing this proposal to us. I think this does signal a true investment in our people. We've had some wonderful success, not only in enrollment, but also retention. And this is not because of just bricks and mortar. This is because of the people that run the institution and touch our students every day. I also really appreciate the robustness of these payments. Not only is it our union folks, but our non-represented folks, and also the graduate students. So all of these individuals play such a critical role. So I appreciate the inclusivity of that. Brock, I didn't realize before the percentages and how impactful this is, just as an overall compensation for the employees for 1 year at this 5% and 10%. So I also feel that this is extremely impactful for our people. So I think we've all recognized that we've had some extraordinary circumstances in the past few years, and this is definitely an out of the ordinary event to do this. But I think that as a board member, it's not only deserved, but it's needed. And therefore, I'm very happy to make this motion and support this motion.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hart, for your discussion on the motion. Is there others? Trustee Sepinen.
I'd like to just reiterate one thing that um, President Tessman said, and that is that the membership for these different unions uh, should be very proud of the leadership of those unions for working this last year to make us very aware of the role that all their members play in making Northern the success that it is today. And they worked very hard. They were very creative, very respectful, and they made a great case. And I think the motion that's in front of us is an indication of the good job that they did.
Well
Thank
said.
you. Yeah, thank you, trustee Seven, and well put. Any others? Trying to look at my screen here and make sure I'm not missing anybody, so. Okay, I don't see any comments, but I would just add, and some very important things have already been said, but if I could add a couple of things. I think today's action, or soon to be enacted motion is a continuation, I think, of this board's effort, a good faith effort to invest in people, which is one of our key strategies moving forward. And I think, we started that process, as Brock pointed out, with our memorandum of understanding with AAUP, which was concluded a few months ago. And I think that was the beginning of this process that we're seeing come to fruition today. And I think that for us to grow NMU into the future, and attract students, and ultimately what we're doing, this is all about the students. And I think that to attract those students, we need top level facilities. We need the infrastructure to support those students, and we need top level faculty. And this is part of the commitment to do those things, to make sure we can grow this university into the future. And I'm pleased that today we're able to continue our efforts to focus in those two areas, and that's people and places. And I too want to thank the board for their efforts in this commitment. I think as a group, we've set a goal, and we're trying to attain that goal. And this is part of that process of attaining NMU as a world-class place for people to come. And I want to thank also our union partners, our non-rep and our graduate assistants for all that they do. And hopefully this effort today is an indication to them on our part of our belief in their importance to this system. And also want to just stop and say and thank Brock and his team for helping us through this process. We've started these discussions. This just didn't happen today. It's a result of a lot of discussions that took place over many months. Gavin provided a lot of background and help to us as we work through some of these issues that we're talking about today. So thank you to Brock, to your team as well. If there's no further discussion, and I see no hands up, so I would ask Secretary Andrew to please take the roll on the motion by Vice Chair Hart.
Please indicate with yes or no. Trustee Young,
Yes.
trustee Hart,
Yes.
trustee Fatante,
Yes.
trustee Sepinen,
Yes.
trustee Holmquist,
Yes.
trustee Lapointe Dunham,
Yes.
trustee Lindberg.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hart, and thank you to everybody on the board. As I indicated, that's our only agenda item on the agenda for today. So I thank you for all making time to participate in this special meeting. And with that, I move that this meeting stand adjourned. Thank you.